Hello everyone, welcome to another Angular Max. In our last video we talked about relative clauses. Now today we are going to continue with the same lesson and we are going to talk about a few more relative pronouns. So the first pronoun we are talking about is where. We use where for places. Look at these examples. The first example says, this is the restaurant. What restaurant or which restaurant? This is a defining relative clause. Where we eat. So instead of where, we could use in which. Whenever we use where, it means we are talking about a place inside which something happens. That is why we can replace where with in which. For example, we could say, this is the restaurant in which we eat. Or we could bring the preposition at the end of the sentence and we could say, this is the restaurant which we eat in or which we eat at. Another example, this is the town where I grew up. Again, because we are talking about a town as a place. We could replace where with in which. We could say, this is the town in which I grew up. But there is a very important point in here. Look at this example. This is the cinema. Cinema is a place. But why did we use which as our relative pronoun? Because we are not using, we don't mean cinema as a place. We mean cinema as an entity, as something, as an object that does something. This is the cinema which shows old films. So how could we tell the difference? How could we tell if in here we are supposed to use which or where when we are talking about a place or a building? It's very simple. You just use in which. If it makes sense, your answer or your best choice for your relative pronoun is where. If you cannot use in which, it means nothing is happening inside this building. We are talking about this place as a thing, not as a place. Okay. The next relative pronoun is what. What means the thing that or the thing which. Look at these examples. I didn't understand what you said. So what in here, you can remove it and replace the thing that. I didn't understand the thing that or the thing which you said. This is what I mean. Sorry, this is what I mean. Again, this is the thing that I mean. So this is another relative pronoun. Okay, there is a very important point here. We cannot leave out relative pronoun if its noun is not in the sentence. What does this mean? It is called a pronoun, a relative pronoun. It means it is replacing a noun. We say, for example, this is the house which I'm going to buy, which is replacing the house. So the noun is there and the pronoun is there as well. But look at this example. I can't remember who I talked to. So you remember that whenever we have who or that or which in a defining relative clause, if you don't remember, go and watch our previous video. If we have a new subject after the relative pronoun and it is a defining relative clause, we can remove it from the sentence. But in some cases we cannot do that. Look, I can't remember who I talked to. So let me ask you something. Who is a pronoun, but where is the noun? The noun is not in the sentence, it is hidden. It means that I can't remember the name of the person. It means I can't remember the name of the person who I talked to. So if you put this in the sentence, then you can remove who. You could say, I can't remember the name of the person I talked to. This is a correct sentence. So we cannot remove who because the noun is not in here. And this is the noun phrase which has been omitted from the sentence. Look at this example. Could you tell me why you left early? Again, the noun is not in here, but the pronoun is here. So what is the hidden noun or the noun phrase? Could you tell me the reason why you left early? So again, if we put this in the sentence, we can remove why. We could say, could you tell me the reason you left early? This is a correct sentence. But because the reason is not here, we cannot remove why. Look at this example. I want to know when the guests arrive. Again, the noun is not in the sentence, but the pronoun is there. The hidden noun could be, I want to know the time. I want to know the time, or the day, or the hour, or whatever in the same category. I want to know the time when the guests arrive. This is the hidden noun or the noun phrase. So if we put this in the sentence, we can easily remove when. We could say, I want to know the time the guests arrive. The last point today is about reduced relative clauses. Look at these examples. Look at the person who is standing there. So, this is our relative clause. And this example, this is the book which is being discussed. This is our relative clause. If you pay attention, our relative clause has an ing form in it, a continuous form, who is standing, which is being. Whenever you have ing form in your relative clause, you can remove the relative pronoun and the to be verb all together. It means this could be, look at the person standing there. We call this standing there a reduced relative clause. And this example, this is the book which is being discussed. So this is in ing form, and we can remove which is the pronoun and to be verb. So this is the book being discussed today. This is the last point. Let's do some exercises together. Okay, let's start with the exercises. Rewrite each pair of sentences as one sentence and include the word in bold. Begin as shown and make any necessary changes. Again, this is actually one of the functions of using relative clauses. So we won't have to use two separate sentences. We can join them together as one sentence and with the help of a relative clause. A. We want to visit a museum. It opens at 12. We need to use that as our relative pronoun. The answer is, the museum that we want to visit opens at 12. And I made this that in here green because we can remove it from the sentence and the sentence will still be correct. B. A boy's bike was taken. He visited the police station. Whose? The boy whose bike was taken visited the police station. How could we tell we could use whose? Because the noun after whose bike belongs to the noun or the noun phrase before whose, the boy. C. A friend met me at the airport. He carried my suitcase. Who? The friend who, and remember, there is something in here. We say, a friend met me at the airport. He carried my suitcase. We change a friend to the friend because we are talking about a particular person. That is why we use the definite article the. So the friend who met me at the airport carried my suitcase. This who met me at the airport is your relative clause and it is a defining one. D. Tom cooked a meal. It was delicious. That. The meal that Tom cooked was delicious. Again, I made this green because you can leave it out. It means the sentence could be read like this. The meal Tom cooked was delicious. And this is still correct. And E. A friend is staying with me. She comes from Paris. Who? The friend who is staying with me comes from Paris. Again, this is a defining one because when you say the friend, you could ask which friend. It is not specified in here. So we are defining it with who is staying with me, which is your relative clause. F. I found a man's wallet He gave me a reward. Whose? The man whose wallet I found gave me a reward. Again, the word wallet after whose belongs to the noun or the noun phrase before whose, the man. G. I go to a shop in the center. It is cheaper. That. The shop in the center that I go to is cheaper. Again, this is a defining one, that I go to, because we say the shop in the center. Which shop in the center? The shop that I go to is cheaper. And you can leave this out. You can remove that because we have a new subject in here. So we could say the shop in the center I go to is cheaper. H. I went to a girl's party. She phoned me. Whose? The girl whose party I went to called me. Again, because party belongs to the girls. That's why we can use whose in here. I know someone. This person likes you. Who? I know someone. What someone? Who likes you. I know someone who likes you. This is a defining one, but you cannot remove it from the sentence. Next exercise. Put one word in each space or tick the space if the sentence is correct. We sent a present to the children living next door. Again, this is correct because this is a reduced relative clause. It means the original sentence was, we sent a present to the children who are living next door. Again, because we have who, the relative pronoun, plus are, a to be form, plus the ing form. We can remove the pronoun and the to be verb together and the sentence will still be correct. We call this a reduced relative clause, as we have discussed during the lesson. 2. Mike doesn't really know, again in here, who are the children who are. 2. Mike doesn't really know what he wants. Because the noun is missing in here, the noun which we are referring to by means of this pronoun, what. So what is actually the thing that Mike doesn't really know, the thing that he wants, or the things that he wants. 3. I started talking to some boys sitting by the side of the road. Again, this is correct because it was originally I started talking to some boys who were sitting by the side of the road, because who and were, this is a relative pronoun and this is a to be verb plus the ing form. We can remove both of them together and we call this a reduced relative clause. Sitting by the side of the road is your reduced relative clause. 4. I asked Mary what she was thinking, but she wouldn't tell me. I asked Mary, remember, this noun is not replacing Mary. This is replacing a hidden noun or a hidden noun phrase. I asked Mary the thing that she was thinking, but she wouldn't tell me. Number 5. There were lots of people at the party we went to. Again, this is correct. You could say there were lots of people at the party. What party? Which we went to. And which we went to is a defining relative clause. And because we have a new subject in here, we can remove which. Number 6. I don't really know what you're talking about. Again, the noun or the noun phrase which we are referring to by means of this pronoun is hidden in the sentence. So I don't really know the thing that you are talking about. So we can use what. Number 7. What we need now is a map and a compass. It means that the things we need now, or the things that we need now, is a map and a compass. So we can use what. Number 8. We saw 2 rabbits playing in the garden. Again, this is a reduced relative clause because it was originally we saw 2 rabbits, which or who. They say we use that with animals, but I don't agree with that. Animals are living things, so I use who for them, not that not which. So we saw two rabbits who were playing in the garden, and because this is who, the relative pronoun, plus the to be verb, plus the ing form, we can remove the pronoun and the to be verb all together. We call this a reduced relative clause.